This is Legends World GH. Welcome, guys. I think it's been a while for now, due to the holidays. We were also trying to stay back for our viewers and subscribers to also have to celebrate their beautiful holiday. We also took part, and it wasn't bad. And I welcome you back again. As you all know, this page has been dedicated to learn something about business, to learn how to be a focus, to learn how to be consistent in your business. So quickly, I think we are just waiting for few people to be on board. Then we move. Yeah. So at least let's wait for a few people, then we move from there. Boom. Okay, so we are good to go. Yeah, this time around we are here just to focus. In our previous sections, we have been looking at how we will maintain our business. We've been as an entrepreneur. So today I think our discussion is so simple, and we need to focus right. Today we are looking at creating a sustainable business that can take us far. How we can maintain our business, how we can sustain it. I think such similar topic like this has been treated already or has been talked about. But we need to add more to it, because it is a serious thing for an entrepreneur or a business personnel, how we can move as a long-term entrepreneur or a business personnel. So I think in our previous sessions we have been discussing about entrepreneur sustainability on the market. So I think it's a slightly different entrepreneur sustainability, and this is the things to consider in creating a sustainable business. So before that, we also look at best advice for entrepreneur, ways to live out our comfort zone, and so on. So right now we are going straight to talk much about the way or things we need to consider in creating a sustainable business. So right now, if you look at this, it means that we have moved from entrepreneur to business. And before that, we find out how we can make our passion to become a business. Let's go straight to our discussion of the day. You can also try as much as possible to send your comments, suggestions under the comment section. So we are looking at creating a sustainable business that addresses current realities, involves integration, environmental, social and economic considerations into your business models. Here's a structured approach to help us to get started if we want to create a sustainable business. Let's look at the approach we can use, we can follow to make us great or make us achieve it. We need to identify the problem before creating a sustainable business. One, we need to identify the problem, and we have told you that once an entrepreneur or a businessman, you are a solution. What you always do is to find a solution to a problem. So if you want to create a sustainable business, we need to find a solution to a problem. And finding a solution to a problem is identifying the problem. We need to understand the current realities and challenges that your business aims to solve. This could be a climate change, social inequality, resource depletion, and so on. So before creating a sustainable business, we need to identify the problem, and also we need to define our mission and values. It's not just about just wake up and say I get my money so I'm creating a business. We need to define the mission of the business. We need to define the values of it. Clearly articulate your business mission to address these challenges. Your mission should align with sustainable practice and social responsibilities. Try as much as possible to send your comments under the comment section, any suggestions. And if you don't get us, try as much as possible to let us hear from you. And also, we are urging everybody to subscribe to the channel and share the link for your neighbor, for your brother, for your sister, to also get what we are doing or what we are saying. So creating a sustainable business, we need to define our mission and values. And also research and innovation. Conduct through research to identify innovative solution or product that can address the identified problem. Sustainability. This might involve new technologies, materials, and processes. Sustainable business model. Design a business model that integrates sustainability into its core. This includes sourcing sustainable materials, reducing waste, optimizing energy use. If you look at this part clearly and intelligently, you will find out or you will achieve your goal. And our mission for today is to find out how we can create a sustainable business. Everybody can create a business, but how are you going to make it sustain? How are you going to sustain the business? That's what we are looking at. So if you can sustain the business, you need to identify the problem first. And a businessman is a solution solver or a problem solver. You need to identify the problem. You need to define your mission and values. You need to research and innovate. You need to sustainable business model. You need to create a sustainable business model that integrates sustainability into its core. This includes sourcing sustainability materials, reducing waste in your business, optimizing energy. Stakeholders engagement. I think this one is a full topic that we need to look at, and if you look at it, I think it will help us to achieve our goal. Creating a sustainable business, we need to look at stakeholder engagement. Engage with stakeholders, and the stakeholders are your employees, customers, suppliers, local communities, to understand their expectation and integrate their feedback into your sustainability strategy. So getting these strategies will help us to achieve or make a sustainable business. So we will talk much about stakeholder engagement, because in our previous sections, Petros, hello, welcome. Try as much as possible to subscribe to the channel and share the link for your neighbor, for somebody to also understand or listen to what we are talking about. So let's continue. You need to also measure impact. Develop metrics to measure the environmental and social impact of your business. This could include carbon footprint, social impact assessment, So, to create a sustainable business, you need to measure impact, develop metrics to measure the environmental and social impact of your social business. This include carbon footprint, social impact. Yeah, I'm Christina. I'm an African from Ghana. Where are you also speaking or watching us from? Let us hear from you. But try as much as possible to subscribe to the channel and share the link. You also, to create a sustainable business, you also need to be a transparency and communication. Always try as much as possible to build a transparency in your business field. Be transparent about your practices and communicate your sustainability effort clearly to stakeholders. This build trust and enhance your brand reputation. Yeah. Anya matata, akunya matata. I don't get it. Akunya matata. What? Is it a country or what? So, creating a sustainable business, you also need to look at compliance and certification. Ensure compliance with relevant environmental and social regulations. You need to try as much as possible to follow the regulations in the industry or the society. Things like registering your business to avoid chasing in and there by local authorities. That's it. You need to comply. Ensure compliance with relevant environmental and social regulations. Consider obtaining certificates, business certificates, corporation, and any other things that concerns about business certification to demonstrate your commitment to sustainability. If you do this, then it gets you on board, or it gets you on track that you are ready and as much as possible to create or to make your business sustainable. Travel along more with your business, and also educate and inspire. Creating a sustainable business, you need to be a role model for your business. You need to be a key brand for others to watch or listen to. So educate and inspire. Educate your customers and community about the importance of your sustainability. Inspire them to make sustainable choices through your product or services. Then also you look at a long-term vision. Creating a sustainable business, you need to get a long-term vision. I think we also look at the long-term vision in creating sustainable business. Long-term vision, long-term vision in creating sustainable business. Yes, we look at that too. And I think these are the things that if you look at, it will help us much as to create a sustainable business. So then let's look at the long-term vision. Develop a long-term vision for your sustainable business. I think if you get time to watch our previous sessions, we have talked about how to about long-term vision in our resume, but we will try as much as possible to give a pinpoint in creating a long-term vision or getting a long-term vision, because as a businessman, all what you need to do is to get a long-term vision in your business. Don't sit down and say, I'm doing a 2x4 business, or I'm doing a short. Or you need to plan your business, and you need to get long-term vision for the business. By following these steps, you can create a business that only addresses current realities. but also contribute positively to the environment and society. This approach not only enhances your business resilience, but also position it as a responsible leader in its industry. So doing this or focusing on these things, it will help as much as possible to create a sustainable business. Let's look at stakeholder engagement in creating a sustainable business. So stakeholder engagement is crucial for sustaining a business because it involves understanding and meeting the needs, expectation, of all parties affected by your business. Let me get it back again. By creating a long-term vision, or creating a sustainable business, stakeholder engagement is crucial for sustaining business because it involves understanding and meeting the needs and expectations of all parties affected by your business operation. And who are these that affect or that are part of your business? Your stakeholders. Who are they? Including your employees, your customers. Yes, you need to try as much as possible to look at these people clearly. And if you look at these people clearly, it will help me for us to create a sustainable business. Guys, try as much as possible to subscribe to the link, and also subscribe to the page and share the link for your neighbor, for your friend, for your brother to also listen to what we are saying or talking about. So stakeholder engagement is crucial, and let's look at the key things that we need to look at, or we need to punch, that will help us create a sustainable business. One is identify key stakeholder. Who is the key stakeholder that you need to identify? Identify all groups and individuals who are directly and indirectly impacted by your business. This includes customers, employees, suppliers, investors, local communities, regulatory bodies, and NGO, and so on. So these are the people you need to look at them, or you need to identify them clearly. And by identifying them, it will help you as much as possible to create a sustainable business. Understand their expectation. Don't say that you have found the solution, so you are just coming out with your solution, and at least you get some people to buy your solution. No, try as much as possible to understand their expectation. They have the problem, and I have told you that in this world, everybody in the world is a problem. So by you getting a solution to the problem, it means that you are creating a wealth. You are ready towards a sustainable business, or you are already creating a business. So understanding their expectation, you need to conduct service, interviews, focus groups, and feedback sections to understand what each stakeholder group expects from your business in terms of sustainability, quality, services, and social responsibilities. At times in business, you find out, or you hear some people coming in giving out complaints. You hear some people. You don't need to only sit down for them to give complaint. You need to also go to them, find them, interview them, and try to get their complaints, because they are the problem. You don't need to sit down for them to also make you a problem, but you are the solution. And try as much as possible to know that the solution you are having is giving them their need. Prioritize stakeholder concern. Analyze the information gathered after understanding their expectation. Just analyze the information gathered to prioritize stakeholders concern and identify common themes. This helps you focus your effort on areas that matter most to your stakeholder. Transparent communication. If you want to be a sustainable business developer, you need to get a transparent communication. Communication is the key in creating business. Communication is the first thing you need to look at. If your communication in your business is low or poor, try as much as possible to upgrade it through education, because we have found out and we have known that in creating a business or as a businessman, there is no end in learning. So if you know that in your business communication is poor, try as much as possible to learn, try as much as possible to find solution to cure it, because communication is a key. And make your communication be transparent. Don't hinder things to your stakeholders. If you hinder things to your stakeholders and they find out later, it means that it is also going to be a different thing altogether. So sorry guys. And also we are saying that no, let's look much on the transparent communication. Maintain open and transparent communication. Maintain an open, transparent communication to prioritize stakeholders' concerns and identify common themes. So maintain open, transparent communication channels with stakeholders. Share information about your business practice, performance metrics, and sustainability initiatives regularly. And also engage early and often. Try as much as possible to make try as much as possible in understanding their expectation. Try as much as possible to make communication fluent, or not like I don't know how to put it, but you need to always, even at least twice a year or once a year, then you create stakeholders engagement. Yes, and it will help you as much as possible to sustain your business. Engage early and often. Engage stakeholders early in the decision making process. Seek their input when developing new products, service, or sustainability strategy to ensure alignment with their expectation. You need to do this. You need to create things like this. Build trust and relationships. You need to foster trust by demonstrating integrity. Rama Jama, welcome. Try as much as possible, guys. We played on your behalf. Try as much as possible to subscribe to the link, to subscribe to the page and share the link for your neighbor, for your brother to also listen to what we are saying or talking about. And also we are saying that we are looking at stakeholders engagement. The stakeholders play a key role in creating a long-term business or making or sustaining our business for a long term. So we are looking at stakeholders engagement. Keys that we need to look at in stakeholders engagement. We need to identify our key stakeholders. We need to identify our key stakeholders. We need to understand their expectation. We need to prioritize stakeholder concern. We need to be transparent in communication. We need to engage early and often. Then we need to build trust and relationships. Foster trust by demonstrating integrity, accountability, and responsiveness in your interaction with stakeholders. Address concern promptly and proactively seek solution to issues that raises. Try as much as possible to also do a collaborate and co-create. Collaborate with stakeholders to co-create solutions that benefit all parties involved. This could involve partnership with suppliers to source sustainable materials or working with the local communities on social impact initiatives. Adaptability and flexibility. Be adaptable and willing to adjust your strategies based on stakeholder feedback and changing circumstances. This demonstrates your commitment to continuous improvement and responsiveness. So if we want to maintain, if we want to maintain a sustainable business, we need to try as much as possible to be adaptability and flexibility. Be adaptable and willing to adjust your strategies based on stakeholder feedback and changing circumstances. This demonstrates your commitment to continuous improvement and responsiveness. Measure and report progress. Establish clear metrics and goals for your sustainability initiatives and regularly progress to stakeholders. This demonstrates transparency and accountability to your commitment. You also need to educate and empower your stakeholders. Educate stakeholders about sustainability issues and empower them to contribute positively. At times, that's why we are saying that communication is the key in creating a sustainable business. So you need to educate your stakeholders. This could involve providing training to employees or sustainable practice or educating customers about the environmental benefit of your product. Address conflicts. Address conflict or disagreement among stakeholders diplomatically and strive to find mutually acceptable solutions. Conflict resolution skills are essential for maintaining positive relationships. These are the keys that we need to look at when focusing on stakeholder sustainability, because in business, stakeholders help as much as possible for the business to grow, for business to move on, for business to be sustained. So we need also look at long-term engagement strategy. If we want our business to grow, if we want to sustain our business in stakeholder sustainability, we also need to look at long-term engagement strategy. You need to create a strategy that long-term strategy for your stakeholders. Develop a long-term engagement strategy that consider how stakeholders need and expectations may evolve over time. Regularly review and update your engagement approach to ensure it remains relevant and effective. So these are the keys, these are the points that you need to look at when you want to create a sustainable business. You need to create a stakeholder engagement to sustain business, because stakeholders are the key in creating a sustainable business. And also, let's look at the long-term vision. You need to get a long-term vision creating sustainable business. Yes, these are the things we need to look at when creating a sustainable long-term. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. That's what we are talking about, and that's what we are looking at. We need to get a sustainable business, we need to get a sustainable. We need to create a sustainable business. We need to try as much as possible to look at stakeholders engagement, and this is one of the key things. This is one of the key things that will help us, stakeholder engagement, to sustain business. And also look at a long-term vision in creating sustainable business. Developing a long-term vision is crucial for creating a sustainable business because it provides a roadmap. Developing a long-term vision is crucial for creating a sustainable business because it provides a roadmap and guide your actions toward achieving sustainability goals over an extended period. Here, let's look at the key words or the component that will lead us to create a long-term vision. We need to define sustainability goals. We need to define sustainability goals. Clearly articulate your sustainability objectives, considering environmental, social, and economic dimension. So guys, we are saying that try as much as possible to subscribe to the channel, and also share the link for your partner, your lovers, your friends who are also in business to understand or listen to what we are saying. Thank you very much once again. So we need to define sustainability goals. Clearly articulate your sustainability objectives considering environmental, social, and economic dimensions. These goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's the SMART. Specific. You need to be specific. S. You need to be measurable. M. You need to be achievable. A. You need to be relevant. R. You need and be a time bound. C. That's SMART. So you need to be smart. You need to be smart. Let's look, and also looking at commitment to continuous improvement. That to achieve a long-term vision, you need to be commitment to continuous improvement. Emphasize a culture of continuous improvement in sustainability practices. This involves regularly evaluating and enhancing your process, technologies, and strategies to minimize environmental impact and maximize social benefit. Integration into core business strategy. Let's look at this point also well. Integration into core business strategy. Embed sustainability into your core business strategy rather than treating it as an isolated initiative. No, don't do that. Embed sustainability into your core business strategy rather than treating it as an isolated initiative. Ensure alignment with your mission, values, and long-term business objectives. Innovation and adaptability. Foster innovation and sustainability by embracing new technologies, materials, and practices that enable you to stay ahead of regulatory requirements and industry standards. Remain adaptable to emerging trends and challenges. Remain adaptable. You need to foster innovation in sustainability by embracing new technologies, materials, and practices that enable you to stay ahead of regulatory requirements and industry standards. You need to remain adaptable to emerge trends and challenges. So these are the things, if we look at, or you look at as a business personnel, will help you to create or to maintain, to sustain your business for a long-term period. Integration into core business strategy. That's what we talk about. I think we have already discussed. Yeah, we have already discussed it. Innovation and adaptability, foster innovation and sustainability, and also stakeholder engagement and collaboration. We have discussed about this earlier. Engage stakeholders, including employees, customers, suppliers, communities, and investors in shaping your long-term sustainability vision. Foster collaborative partnership to leverage expertise, and resource. Risk management. We need to also look at risk management in looking at a long-term vision. Risk management is also a key thing that we need to look at. That's identify and mitigate risk associated with sustainability issues, such as climate. You see, this thing is a key thing that involves in creating or maintaining a sustainable business. Climate change. Identify and mitigate risk associated with sustainability issues such as climate change. Resource scarcity. At times, the raw materials you use for production, it gets to a time that you say, oh, it has short. How are you, if it's not in the system, how are you going to get it? So in creating a long-term sustainability, all what you need to do is to make your resources always available. So resource scarcity, regulatory changes, and reputational risk. Build resilience through proactive risk management strategy. So it's also one of a key thing that we need to look at in creating a sustainable business, because even only looking at climate change, every year we have seasons. Let's look at this past weekends. This past weekends, we celebrated a holiday with the Muslims, and let's say if you are into business and you didn't get a strategy, or you didn't strategize your business, and let's say you are into fashion and you sell Muslim clothes, you see the demand on the day and before the day will be higher. But ask yourself, after the celebration, after the occasion, is the demand going to be the same? If no, then what is the strategy that you took? Yeah. And also looking at measuring impact and reporting, establish robust metrics and mechanisms for monitoring and reporting on your sustainability performances. You need to establish robust metrics and mechanisms for monitoring and reporting on your sustainability performances. Regularly communicate progress, achievements, and challenges transparently to stakeholders. Long-term investment and ROI recognize that investment in sustainability may have longer payback. Don't think that once you started a business you are going to get your profit. Once you started selling solutions, you are going to get a payback instantly. It takes time, because you have a key mindset that you are creating a sustainable business. then it will take time for you to get your payback. So that's the long-term investment and ROI. Recognize that investment in sustainability may have longer payback rates, but contribute to long-term value creation, including cost savings, enhanced brand reputation, and access to new market or opportunities. Sure. Leadership and industry influence in creating a sustainable business. Leadership and industry influence also take a key part. Aspire to be a leader in sustainability within your industry or sector. Influence industry standard and practice by sharing best practice, participating in industry association, and advocating for sustainable policies. Adherence to ethical standard. Uphold high ethical standard. Uphold high ethical standard in all aspects of your business operation. Uphold high ethical standard in all your business operation. I don't know if where we have reached, I can see that we are getting it clearly. Yes, because these are the things that if we look at will help us to create or maintain a sustainable business. Once a businessman, you are a problem solver. You have the solution. So to make your solution grow or sustain for a longer period, then it means that you need to look at what we have been talking about. We need to look at these things. Adherence to ethical standard. That's uphold high ethical standard in all aspects of your business operation, including supply chain management, labor practice, and community engagement. Demonstrate integrity and accountability in your sustainability commitment. Responsible consumption and production. Promote responsible consumption and production throughout your value chain, aiming to minimize waste, optimize resource use, and promote circular economy principles. So these are the key things we need to look at when creating. We need to look at these things to help us create a sustainable business in our environment. And also responsible consumption and production. Promote responsible consumption and production and throughout your value chain, aiming to minimize waste, optimize resource use, and promote circular economic principles. Long-term social impact. Consider the broader social impact of your business beyond environmental considerations. Aim to contribute positively to local communities, promote diversity and inclusion, and support social equity initiatives. So by developing a comprehensive long-term vision that encompasses this element, your sustainable business can effectively navigate challenges, capitalize on opportunities, and contribute meaningful to a more sustainable future. And I tell you today that if you look at these things, you will thank me later by saying that it has helped you to develop a sustainable business. Try as much as possible to subscribe to the channel. Try as much as possible to share the link for your neighbors to also join us. So let's look at the points that we have discussed. I think these are the things we need to look at in creating a sustainable business that solve current realities. So You need to identify the problem. You need to define your mission and values. You need to research and innovate. You need to sustainable business. You need to create a sustainable business model. You need to create stakeholder engagement. You need to measure impact, transparency and communication, compliance and certification, partnership and collaboration, continuous improvement, educate and inspire, long-term vision. And we also came to look at the stakeholder engagement. The stakeholder engagement is a key role that help us to make a sustainable business or create a sustainable organization. So the stakeholder engagement is also a way. The key point you need to look at is identify key stakeholder. Identify key stakeholders. That identify your key stakeholders. Some are your customers. Identify your customer, employees, suppliers, investors, local communities, regulatory bodies, NGOs, and so on. And also prioritize stakeholder concern. Prioritize stakeholder concern in your business to create a long-term business. You need to prioritize stakeholder concern. Transparent communication. Create a transparent communication. Engage early and often. Build trust and relationships. Collaborate and co-create. Adaptability and flexibility. Measure and report progress. Educate and empower. Address conflicts. Long-term engagement strategy. So these are the key things you need to look around stakeholder engagement. And the stakeholder engagement, we have also tried as much as possible to look at long-term engagement strategy, the strategies that will help us to maintain or create a sustainable business in long-term engagement. And these are the keys you need to look at. You need to define sustainability goals, commitment to continuous improvement. Always commit, always try yourself as much as possible to improve the business. Don't let the business be still for so long. And also integration into core business strategy, innovation and adaptability, stakeholder engagement and collaboration, risk management and resilience, measuring impact and reporting, long-term investment and ROI, leadership and industry influence, adherence to ethical standard, responsible consumption and production, long-term social impact. So guys, I think these are the things that we need to look at in making a sustainable business. So I urge you to try as much as possible to use these keys in your business, and only if you want your business to maintain or sustain for a long term, try as much as possible to follow these keys. And also try as much as possible to subscribe to our page and share the link. We will go back, and very soon we will come back with a different topic or a different session, whilst we have decided to create a better future for ourselves. We have found out that everybody in the world is a problem. So you trying as much as possible to create a solution makes you a businessman. So try as much as possible to follow our page, try as much as possible to follow our sessions, and it will lead you, or it will guide you to maintain or sustain your business. So I think by now we will end this session here. And I say once again, thank you very much for your time and subscribe to the channel. We will be back soon with a different section. Thank you. God bless you for having you. God bless you for staying tuned. Bye bye.